Welcome back. This is going to be part 3 to the series that we started last week. Um, Currently, there's a lot of noise going on in my house, but that doesn't matter. Hopefully, it doesn't make it through the video, and if it does, I'm sorry. Not really. Anyway, let's move on. As per the usual, we're going to start this video by talking about something that I've always wanted in Smash. In the first video, we talked about skins. On the second video, we talked about the ranking system. Today, I want to talk about costume colors. Costume. You know, you get to pick the colors that you want this color scheme to have. That's something I've always wanted. A lot of games do this. The last one that I remember doing it was what was that terrible Dragon Ball Z game? Battle of Z. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. I think it was Battle of Dragon Ball Z Battle. That one. The one that was pretty bad. That's the one. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z did this. It allowed you to change the colors for your characters yourself. Like you get to pick. I don't remember if there was a slider to customize the colors or you actually had to pick from like preset colors. But it's a pretty cool thing to do, and I think this would actually help a lot with the whole like modding community always making like custom colors for the characters. Now you wouldn't have to do that anymore. You could do that yourself through the game itself. If we do get to have skins for the characters, I don't know how many slots they're each going to take. Maybe the character will have 4 regular colors and then the skin will have 4 regular colors. Or if there's like DLC skins, maybe they'll also get 8 different colors. Either way, let's say that they should just have whatever amount of skins that they already have in colors or whatever. On top of that, there should be one which is costume option, which is whatever you want it to be. You go into like the menus that we used to have for like editing moves and stuff like that. Instead, you go in there, pick the character, and you customize the color. And there you go. That's your color, the custom color that you want for your own character. And I think each outfit should have an option to have that, a slot that has a custom color. I think that would add like a lot of variety. It'll let you personalize your own character, and I think that would be a very, very cool addition. Something that I've always wanted in Smash. Okay, so on to the video topic, which this time we're going to talk about the presumed spirits mode thing. We don't really know what it's called. That's what we think it's going to be called based on the person that enhanced the blurred picture in the trailer that we saw. So I want to begin this topic randomly by predicting another boss character that might show up. I don't know if he might show up during like the shadow reveal trailer, but I feel like Eggman is going to be a boss in the game also. He could probably show up, and maybe you have to go through several boss fights to like actually get to the final boss fight that he would have. Like you would fight like versions of him that have appeared throughout the games, and then to end it off, you could either fight the Egg Dragoon, the one that everybody knows from Sonic Generations, or from the recent Sonic Forces. He does use that there too. Or we could use the Egg Viper from Sonic Adventure 1. I think that would be really cool to have him as a boss fight. Like, I think Eggman does deserve to be represented in Smash, if anybody does deserve it. Not as a character. I thought at first that he should be a character, but I don't know how it would work. But I think as a boss character, it would make a lot more sense. Finally, let's talk about Spirits mode. So since they went through the trouble of actually hiding the mode when it came to the reveal trailer for it, and they said we'll talk about that later, it has to be something big. It can't just be like bringing back custom characters, bringing back custom moves, stuff like that we already know, or maybe like a silly little new mode or whatever. It can't be something small and like unimportant. If they said we'll have to talk about that later, it's probably unfinished or it's something huge. And I'm hoping it's the latter because I hope Spirits mode is going to be the newest story mode. A popular speculation that's been going around is that this mode is actually going to have you rescuing the spirits of the characters that have been killed in the reveal trailers for characters. I think that's a very silly speculation that probably got too popular, like more popular than it needed to be. I mean, to me, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, when in the history of anything have we ever had character reveal trailers that are directly like tied into gameplay mechanics? Like, the only thing that we get gameplay-wise from those trailers is the character's fighting style and the moves and stuff like that. We don't really get like, oh, this is going to be confirmed, new story mode because this character did that, or like, oh, we're going to have a Mario Kart racing minigame on Rosalina's trailer. Like, no, that's silly. That's very silly. What I personally think it's going to be, it's a grand adventure mode, but a Metroidvania adventure mode. Think about that. Subspace Emissary felt kind of like an oversimplified Metroidvania type of game with the whole map system and the doors that lead into other areas and the hidden doors, and you could predict kind of where the hidden doors were going to be based on looking at the map. But it was like an oversimplified Metroidvania. But now if you think about it, we have pretty much all the building blocks that we need to make a Metroidvania style game when it comes to this adventure mode. We have a leveling system through the amiibos. Like the amiibos have a way to level up as they fight and stuff like that. So if we can incorporate experience into it by killing enemies and stuff like that, we do have a leveling system. We could have specific areas that can only be reached by specific characters. So like, let's say there's a ledge that's way too high for your current party to reach, so you have to actually go out of your way to get Pit or maybe Dark Pit and get somebody who has a huge recovery to make it that high up, and then you could advance that way, or maybe have like barricades that can only be broken by specific characters' final smashes. And that's another thing with the final smash meter. Now we can have final smashes be like special ultimate moves that you could use during the adventure mode, and you could just explore the whole map with a party of like 3, maybe 5, but I feel like that would be too many. But yeah, I would say like 3 characters, and you could just swap back and forth between them as you're playing throughout the map. Or if like one of the character dies, you switch automatically to the next one, which is a mechanic that we already have in Squad Strike. And in Smash Run and the Subspace Emissary, you used to like pretty much rack up percent against the enemies. You couldn't see the percent that they had, but you would just rack it up until you have enough power to just knock them out of the screen. But instead of using that, you could use HP with the stamina battle, and then just have like HP power-ups like hidden throughout the map that would actually raise your maximum stamina percentage. And in that sense, we're essentially treating stamina like your HP bar, and I think that would make a lot more sense. Maybe the name Spirits Mode actually comes from the fact that you might be fighting like old characters, like from old enemies from Subspace Emissary, or the Fighting Alloy team, or the Fighting Wired team, whatever it is that they were called in Brawl and Melee. Maybe they'll show up and you get to fight them. Like you'll just be fighting old school enemies that haven't shown up in Smash in a very long time, like which would fit with the whole everyone is here thing. But I don't know. We don't really know if the mode is actually going to be called Spirits Mode, so maybe we shouldn't be speculating on that, on why it's called that or whatever. But I do think it's going to be a Metroidvania type game. We also already have character equipment. That could be something that could be hidden throughout the map too, so you can just go get new equipment. It could give you like a home run bat or something like that. Nothing crazy. It should just be balanced around the adventure mode. It shouldn't be balanced for outside of that. Like the old custom characters had equipment, but it was just basically to boost your stats and stuff like that. But I think like the abilities that they would have had would be interesting enough to add it into like a Metroidvania type of game. Again, we have a leveling system through the amiibos. We have stamina that could be either 100 or 300, so maybe set it up so that it starts out at 100 or maybe even starts out at 50, and then as you collect items it raises up. And we also already have boss battles that have been shown. I'm just saying, Smash already has the building blocks to make this type of gameplay, and Sakurai already stated that when you start out the game, you're going to probably start out with a roster that's as small as the original cast. Maybe when you start out this mode, you also start out with the same roster, and then they'll have a moment like where they all meet up in the midst of all the chaos that's going on with this adventure mode, because adventure mode is always off the top crazy. So they just meet up, and then they have a flashback to their original like N64 graphics. That would be really cool, like a little nostalgia trip of like, hey, we've come so far. Let's set out together and like do this thing, do the thing that they're gonna do. I don't know what it is, but they're gonna do it. And think of all like the cool like character interactions we could have. We could be playing a Metroidvania style game with Samus and Simon together, and think about like the interaction these two could have, because they're used to this type of structure. So they could be like, oh yeah, I'm actually a veteran when it comes to things like this, and then they could have like an argument of who among them is the best hunter. Maybe through that they could have some sort of rivalry. I don't know. All I know is that Sakurai is going to deliver. He's been hitting all the nails in the head with everything he's been doing in this game. It's amazing. It's shaping up to be the best Smash Brothers ever. But anyway, that's all the time I'm going to be stealing from you today. That's going to be it for these video series. Just let me know what you thought. Let me know any sort of feedback would be helpful to keep me moving forward. Doing these have actually taught me how hard it is to actually make videos on a constant basis. And honestly, I don't know how people do it out there. It's amazing. I have so much more respect for people doing YouTube like as a career. It's amazing. It really is. I've always wanted to make a Let's Play channel, but I've never had the time to do it. But maybe if these get enough traction, maybe if people are actually interested in what I have to say or how I do things, I guess, then I would seriously consider it. I really would. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Before this video ends, I do have the boldest prediction ever to make for this game. And that is that I think that Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be the best character in the game. That's my prediction. Let's see if it happens. I don't know. I think it would. Sonic with projectiles just sounds
Fake.
crazy. I've been cursing a lot throughout these series. I don't know if YouTube's going to take too kindly to that. Maybe I should just censor it. How do I censor it though? I'll just put a word over them, I guess. Like cake. I think that would work.